The house of everyone is to him as his castle and fortress, as well for his defense against injury and violence, as for his repose. Edward Coke, 1604. Hello everyone, welcome to or back to the channel. I am KillateralDamage. Today's video is going to be a little different. As always, feel free to express your opinions in the comment section. Thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. Thank you to all who have subscribed. You are all very much appreciated. And to those who haven't, please consider doing so that I have an alibi. If you see that notification bell prowling around, give it a swift kick to the nuts for snitching me out every time I release new content. I am not a lawyer, and this is not to be considered legal advice. Let's jump right into the video. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a visually beautiful place with its change in seasons throughout the 46,000 square miles of its approximate rectangular shape. Also known as the Keystone State for its essential role in the founding of the United States, earning its nickname, which comes from the stone architecture referring to the central wedge-shaped stone in an arch that holds all other stones in place. Pennsylvania played a major part in the history of our nation as one of the original 13 colonies. Pennsylvania was founded by William Penn as a haven for his fellow Quakers to live free in pursuit of happiness and religious freedoms. The territory was given to him to pay off a debt to his father, Sir William Penn, admiral and politician. Penn originally named it as New Wales, which the council rejected, and King Charles II changed the name to Pennsylvania in honor of Sir William Penn. Philadelphia was the site of the First and Second Continental Congresses in 1774 and 1775, the latter of which produced the Declaration of Independence, sparking the American Revolution. However, this video isn't a history lesson on Pennsylvania. We're going to be discussing why it's a great place to live if you're a law-abiding gun owner, and that's because we have two very specific types of self-defense laws not found in every state that go beyond the normal self-defense that has been common to mankind going back through the ages. The first of which is known as the Castle Doctrine. The Castle Doctrine comes from the ancient and universally agreed upon idea that a man or woman's home is their castle. The term Castle Doctrine itself is attributed to Sir Edward Coke, the Attorney General of England in the Semaines case, January 1st, 1604, which is recognized as establishing the knock and announce rule where the quote in the introduction comes from. To briefly describe knock and announce, in the United States law of criminal procedure, this common law principle was incorporated into the Fourth Amendment, which to this day requires law enforcement officers to announce their presence and provide residents with an opportunity to open their door prior to a search. In Semaines' case, Sir Edward Coke was like, bro, you can't just go kicking doors in for the execution of king's business, and if someone unlawfully enters your home and gets killed, in defense, it shouldn't be considered a felony. So thanks to this case, you have the right to defend your home without worry of committing a felony, and sheriff has to announce with a warrant. What separates Pennsylvania from many other states is that the Castle Doctrine extends beyond the threshold of your home. It applies to dwellings, residences, including hotel rooms that you're staying a part of, a car, provided that you're in it. It even includes patios, places you're visiting as a guest where you were invited to be, and also includes work provided that it isn't against a co-worker. You have no duty to retreat in these selected areas. You can defend yourself even if retreat is an option. It does not apply to someone you may be having a custody dispute with over a child. It does not apply to cohabitants, people that you live with. You can't claim Castle Doctrine against your wife. You'll have to get a divorce and get screwed like everyone else does. The key parts of the scenario which it provides for is 1. If in the process of unlawfully or forcefully entering one of these protected areas. 2. If they have entered into one of these protected areas. 3. Attempting to unlawfully or forcefully enter with the intent to remove you or someone else. The presumption of reasonableness is very powerful, meaning you are presumed to have acted reasonably in your deadly use of force in one of the protected areas, or one of the 3 conditions mentioned are in place. Stand your ground is another great thing about being a Pennsylvania citizen, and it falls under these 3 circumstances. 1. Are in a place where you lawfully are allowed to be. Trespassing in Pennsylvania will not only potentially get you hurt, saying you're standing your ground on someone else's land, if still breathing afterwards, will not help you. If a situation were to arise, you have to act reasonably under the circumstances. What's reasonable under the circumstances as far as your fear and justification of deadly force, you may ask? The same 4 parts: kidnapping, sexual assault, serious bodily injury, or death. Most importantly, if the bad guy uses, displays, intimates, or otherwise makes it known or reasonably thought of having some sort of deadly instrument.
A deadly weapon can be all kinds of things aside from the commonly used guns or knives. Using some of my personal life experience, bricks, a big-ass wrench, brass knuckles, an Alibaba sword, a baseball bat, a pipe.
In recent times, 2011, Pennsylvania basically combined these 2 self-defense laws. It amended its traditional law of self-defense, which included the Castle Doctrine, that governed the use of deadly force in cases of self-defense in one's home, to include a so-called stand your ground or shoot first provision. Under traditional self-defense doctrines, one cannot resort to the use of deadly force in defense unless they have first tried unsuccessfully to retreat or remove themselves from the situation. Under the Castle Doctrine, the duty to retreat did not apply in one's home. So in 2011, when they made this amendment to the Castle Doctrine, expanded the doctrine by removing the duty to retreat when one is outside one's home in public places where one has the right to be. A person in any lawful place outside his home has no duty to retreat and has the right to stand his ground and use force, including deadly force. So to sum it up, the bottom line is Pennsylvania provided that you're in a lawful place, acting reasonable of one of the 4 areas of fear, the assailant is displaying, using, or reasonably believed to be using a deadly weapon, you can stand your ground. The Castle Doctrine applies not only to your home, but a lot of other places where you're free to be. Thanks to the 2011 amendment, basically anywhere, anytime, as long as you're legally allowed to be there, that you're not the aggressor, that you're not provoking it. I do not recommend anyone ever do any of these things. The last thing you ever want to do is pull out your gun and kill somebody wrongfully, okay? And the liabilities that follow that. If you are to draw your gun and someone calls the cops and the cops come, or if there's a shooting, or like if there's an incident where you had to use your firearm and the police are on their way, put that fucking thing down. Do not have that gun in your hand when the police show up. Do not touch the gun of the other person, the weapon of the other person. Do not touch anything. If they're done, like if it happened and they're down and it's over, you put your fucking gun in the holster or on the ground, you put your hands on your head, and you sit on your knees and wait till the fucking police get there. Do not speak, do not say anything, never talk to cops, first of all, but do not make it as if you're a threat to the police when in an incident of deadly force. They will fucking cap you. Make sure that you preserve the scene as much as possible. Make sure you are not acting threatening when the police show up or prior to a shooting.
And make sure you hit that like button. If you've made it this far into the video, you're still here for a reason. On some real shit though, I do appreciate everyone watching. Know your rights so the government knows their boundaries, and remember that to them, silence is consent. Whether you do or do not like this video format, let me know in the comments. Any feedback is appreciated. Always try to avoid any physical altercations. Unless someone is directly doing something to you, potentially harming someone else, or acting negligent to the rights of others, it's not your damn business. Keep your head straight ahead and watch your wallet. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. If you want to help beyond the typical YouTube interactions and supporting the channel, you can check out the links in the description. And remember, photography is not a crime.